Good evening, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and I want to react to a video I just watched by Ebby. I have reacted to her videos before, and in this one, which I will link below in the description, she's going over a question about why she wants things. Why was she born wanting? Why do people want things in general? And she has some very insightful observations. I just want to give her credit for that. Also, I'm following her channel on YouTube because I believe she has a lot of great insights. And this is no exception, but I also feel like in this video she's kind of very, very close to the answer, but it's not quite articulated in her video. And I want to just mention my own perspective on why people want things and what that actually means. So I think she's extremely close to the answer in her video, and especially when she mentions the Buddhist connection, because they are onto something, and they don't, from what I've heard, they don't have the whole picture either as far as the logical answer, the big picture answer, but there is an answer. And my understanding is that like she says in her video, like Ebby says, there may be more categories to wanting things than people typically acknowledge or admit. This is very close to how I look at it. I say that, first of all, desire is the root of all suffering, like the Buddhists say. However, there's more to it. Happiness is never mentioned. Happiness is not mentioned in her video, is seldom mentioned in any Buddhist rhetoric. They mention, blissful destinations, nirvana, and this kind of thing, but in this life, they don't connect happiness with suffering and what goes in between. So there's something important here. My understanding is that people have basic needs. Let's start with this. People have basic human needs, which are the obvious things: food, shelter, clothing, clean water, and some things on top of that, like electricity nowadays, internet, education, retirement, health care, right? These are all essential human needs at this point in time, in this place, usually. So some of these things I've mentioned, like electricity, are relatively new in the course of human history. They haven't always been basic human needs, but now they are, which shows you something. It shows you that there are levels of needs, and it doesn't stop there with the things that I mentioned. There are things above that. Social needs, sexual needs, if you're an adult, if you're mature. There are a lot of needs, and it's not clear-cut. This is the problem I think she's keying into by saying that we fail to categorize things properly as far as desires go. I don't even think categories are the answer. It's a degree. It's some degree of a basic human necessity, the things that people partake in, whether it's clothing, whether it's the actual process of shopping for clothing, which is arguably it's good for your mental health, and your mental health is by all means a basic human need. So it's the things that help that contribute to your health in general, especially if it's mental health, if you have an opportunity there, that kind of thing. But my point again is that there are higher needs that many people disqualify. They say this isn't really a need, it's a nice to have, it's an optional thing. But the way this connects to the question, when your needs go unmet, whether they're the most basic of all or something above that is debatable, that kind of starts to become a nice to have, if it's missing, you suffer because you are unhappy. Happiness is having your needs met, and this is the missing piece. The thing that the Buddhists fail to mention is that happiness is just meeting all your needs, having everything you need and nothing you don't. No extra stuff to complicate your life, just the stuff that you need, including the higher-ups, including the nice-to-haves that are beneficial to your mental health and your social health and your spiritual health, things that a lot of people refuse to acknowledge are needs at all, that they say are nice to haves if you can afford it, but which really are honestly basic human needs also to some degree. So when your needs aren't met, you're going to be unhappy. By this definition, it's very logical. Now, if you're unhappy, that's just another way to say that you're suffering. So if desire is caused by failure to meet your needs, and desire is the root of all suffering, you see the circular logical truth here. Hopefully that makes sense. So once again, in summary, people have a whole spectrum of human needs. And when those needs go unmet, you are unhappy. That is to say that you are suffering and you have desire, which is obvious because your needs are going unmet and you come full circle. So what's the answer? The solution is to first acknowledge the truth of it. The truth is that people have needs that are above food, shelter, and clothing. They have needs that are above the things that people commonly regard as absolute necessities, but are no less important in the big scheme of things in terms of your health, your mental health, and all the things I said. And if any of those are missing from your life, or if they are being complicated or blocked by things that you don't need, that you think you need, because you're confused or you've been sold something that wasn't really useful to you, which happens a lot, then you become unhappy because your needs aren't actually being met. It's pretty simple when it comes down to it. I hope that makes sense. That's how I like to look at it, and I think it's spot on. If you disagree or if you agree, feel free to reach out down below with questions or comments, and check out her video. It's linked in the description. Thank you. Have a great day.